everybody. Welcome to Garagecast, episode 4. We got Dimitri, Matt, Sam, and I'm Zach. And today we're going to talk about the Free Britney. We're a little late to the party, but...
Spread awareness.
Hashtag
Free Britney.
Hashtag Free Britney. I know we talked about it a little bit. You guys don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard about it yet.
Okay, so... Don't mind my squeaky chair, it's fighting with me today. Essentially, to give you like the short end of it, unless you want to take the reins on this at all.
Yeah, so basically, I'll give the short end, and then you give the detailed part.
What I can.
Yes.
We're not experts.
So basically, she's controlled by her dad, basically. Like, all of her money and her music, like, her house, everything is controlled by her dad. And they won't let her, like, use her money at all. Like, it's literally just controlled by her dad.
Everything's just in her name still?
Not in her name. In his.
Oh, his name?
Even, like, she's married, and, like, he'll, like, control, like, everything. Yeah.
Why wouldn't she, like, change that? Like,
she can't, because...
I guess she probably trusted her dad at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So the idea of it, there's a word specifically, I don't know what it is, so I'm hoping you'll be able to find it. It starts with a C, I think it's, like, conservator... Something like that.
Words.
But she was deemed unfit to be in charge of her own finances. So her father was like, well, I'll be in charge of them. Kind of like a manager, but with full power. Like, you have no say. It's done through legal actions, and normally the person who's not in charge of anything has a terribly hard time fighting, which is the strangest thing, but they need to prove that they can handle everything. And it, for the most time, like, there's never really been, like, any case that the conservatory, if that's the right word.
I'm not sure.
Oh, no, it says that Britney has been under a conservatorship helmed by her father, Jamie Spears, since the singer's infamous breakdown 12 years ago, which resulted in hospitalization and rehab.
Yeah, when she shaved her head.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, then at that point, like, she lost all control of everything, like, they deemed her unfit, and despite the fact that she can say, like, she doesn't want her dad to be in charge of anything, and, like, she can try to, like, fight it all she wants, that's become, like, the big issue. So shorthand with everything. When she was still getting gigs, she then finally decided to, like, no longer perform, and at that point, she was allegedly she was unwillingly forced into rehab. And that's when, like, people were trying to, like, read into, like, her Instagram because things were looking a little weird.
Yeah, well, there was a big theory that she is a clone. And there's a lot of good points there. Alright? There is Kanye, also a clone.
Avril Lavigne, also a clone.
Avril Lavigne is a confirmed clone. She doesn't even look... Can you pull up a picture of Avril Lavigne non-clone, Avril Lavigne clone? Just look it up. Avril
Avril Lavigne.
I don't know if there's a G.
There's a G.
Well, if it's a
silent
clone,
G.
wouldn't it still look like them? Or maybe she just
But here's the thing,
up.
like, she looks very different. Like, not, like, crazy different.
There is a G.
But she looks different. Like, she's definitely a clone.
People can change their style. I don't think any of these people are clones.
No, but, like, her face shape changed. And, like...
Well,
okay, well, like, when you say it out loud, it kind of sounds stupid.
Surgery.
But just think about it quietly to yourself, and it starts to make sense.
Oh, wow. She does not look the same at all.
Edit that picture in, right here.
Yeah, be sure to save that. Anyway, because this has so much to do with Britney. Not a clone.
Britney may not be a clone.
There was actually a podcast that, like, essentially tried to just essentially talk a lot about all of her Instagram posts. And they read, like, really deep into them, trying to see meaning. I don't know if they took it seriously at first, but as it went on, they started trying to, like, decode something that was there. And when she got checked into rehab again, like, right when she was supposed to be performing in Las Vegas, like, she got her own venue that, like, she was going to be the queen of Las Vegas. They talk about her, like, walking through, like, everyone's waiting for her to show up. She finally gets there. She walks past the stage and right into like another limo. Like she doesn't say a word to anyone. Just waves real quick and out, gone. One of the posts on Instagram used like a weird, like the kind of smiley face you saw on Instant Messenger back in like 2000.
Yeah.
And it was really sketchy because she uses all the emojis and stuff, and she's always like talking about like trying to be free, and no matter how hard the struggle.
Now that it's still going on though, did you see the one like there was literally like basically like help me. It like she took like a mirror picture and it was very discreet. Like, you know, you really had to read into it. But like it was scary. Like,
well, yeah, that's everyone's been saying like this doesn't seem right, and so then like people started gathering in protest with the Free Britney hashtag Free Britney, and it was actually a point where there was some legal situation going on where I think she was fighting to get out of the conservatorship, and unfortunately the father was still in charge. If you haven't watched the Hulu thing, it gets way better detail in it. Highly recommend watching that. It's like professionals worked on it or something. But
and not us, not Googling anything. Just
I watched it. I was drunk when I watched it, so this is like the drunk history equivalent of the Free Britney.
Oh no.
But it seemed like that argument was lost. The judge still left the father as the conservator and kind of open-ended for a second hearing in the future. That's where everything's kind of left off at now. Yeah. But
her husband came out like recently. The first time he's ever talked about it was like what, 2 weeks ago? Did you see that?
I didn't.
Yeah, he like I forget what he said, but he said something.
So is there like a reason her dad's like kind of being a dick about it?
Speculation.
He probably wants money.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
wild guess. Probably money.
It's interesting in the documentary, like they list at the end, like no one in her family wanted to be interviewed. Like her father, her mother, her sister, they were all asked, and none of them like.
Was Britney in it?
Yeah, I have quotes here from her brother
like, was she
and sister, and they both like don't really say too much. They kind of just like restate what the news said.
I don't think you actually get anything from Britney specifically.
Like an
it's
interview.
all just no. Like they have interviews from before, like where somebody would like show like the process and her, like she seems very uncomfortable. It was one of those things where the protesters actually kind of got a gleam of hope in the fact that they thought they were doing something right, because they were all like, hey, like if we're wrong, that's fine. Like we can say like, okay, like we were stupid, sorry for making this. But something came out from like the hearing that was public domain, and it essentially totally verified what they were fighting for was genuine, and unfortunately as of right now there's just not enough.
Even in 2019 too, she doesn't want her dad to like oversee it. She wants other people to oversee it, but they still won't change it because he's the head of it.
Scary shit, man. Yeah,
and it's been frustrating too, like from anyone's point of view. Like imagine being totally sane and like genuinely fighting to have someone not have control over your entire life. Like she's locked in her house before, and legally, like you're binded to this contract that you want no part of.
Yeah,
and it's awful.
Oh no, right here it says, interestingly enough, in the latest court documents, Britney declared that a conservatorship is voluntary and that she would rather have a more gradual autonomy over her life. Whatever that means.
Well,
she's willing to like work in increments to get, you know, her life back in her own hands. And like that's the other thing you'll see with all of her Instagram posts and everything, is she talks a lot about like wanting to be free. It's just very unsettling, like ultimately.
Yeah, dude, it's scary stuff. Well, on a different note, you know the movie The Blair Witch Project?
I know of it.
Have you seen it? Nope. I know you didn't. Say you didn't. Tell me.
That's why I said I know of it. I didn't say,
I want to hear it from your mouth. Tell me you haven't seen it.
I have not seen it. That's like one of the first movies where they did like filming everything by hand.
You just disappoint me every time I have a conversation with you.
Well, yeah.
I can't talk about movies with you because you don't see any.
moving on. Go to the next point.
Okay, well, anyway, the Blair. Have you seen the Blair? No, you haven't seen the Blair. I know you haven't.
Yeah, I don't watch
You
movies.
guys.
You're the
Yeah,
expert.
Okay, so the Blair Witch Project, right? Yes, one of the first handheld filmed horror movies ever. So, basically the premise of the movie is they're like these haunted woods that like people go missing in this weird town. So then like these 3 college students are like, we're gonna do a documentary on it and figure out what's in those woods, alright? So, spoiler alert, they get lost in the fucking woods because they're stupid in a horror movie. And then, yada yada yada, they lose the map of the woods, and then all of a sudden, like, they're walking in a straight line, right, for 2 days, and they end up back where they started. And they're like, oh, scary stuff. The ending, I'm not going to say because you guys need to watch it, but it's scary, okay? The ending's scary. So there's a theory that, so it's a girl and 2 guys, and they're like good friends, all right, because they're a film team. There's a theory that the 2 guys did the whole thing. Like, the Blair Witch didn't exist. Like, the 2 guys just got her out there and murdered her. Because every time there's a mess up where they get lost, you know what I mean? It's the guy's fault. Like, the guy loses the map. He's like, oh, where's the map? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they were guiding her. You know what I mean? Like, oh, scary stuff.
But it's not a true story.
Well, no, it's not a true story, but it's a theory about a movie.
Oh, it's just like a theory that like this is like the meta of it. Like,
Exactly.
okay.
I didn't realize how
It's
old
pretty
it
cool.
was. It's from the late 90s.
Yeah, dude.
The original budget was only 35 to 60,000.
You know how they filmed it?
The final cost was 200,000 to
How'd they
3
film it?
The 3 main characters, right, had no idea what was going to happen. So, like, there's a scene in the movie where they're in a tent, and they wake up in the middle of the night, and there's just kids banging on the tent laughing. They had no idea that was going to
Holy
happen. The director
shit.
literally was like, you're camping. Good luck.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, like obviously, I'm not an expert on it, but, like, I'm sure there was some script, and, like, obviously they need to film a movie. And it's very hard to do handheld movies, because you need to make it look like the actor is filming it, but actors can't film.
Yeah, they were probably just like told, listen, something's gonna happen, but
Yeah.
I don't know when it's gonna happen.
Literally, like, there's stories of, like, you can see it in the scene, like, they are scared. And then, like, all the kids just go away. And, yeah, like, the actors say it's traumatizing. I think the main girl, like, literally was like, yeah, like, fucked up.
That's gotta be, like, just filming a horror film in general is already, like, off-putting to a degree. Like, if you're a part of Saw and you know, like, how, like, the gross parts are, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. But, like, in that scenario where you're going in blind, it's pretty much like your own personal haunted house.
Yeah, and they can touch you because you're getting paid.
That's true.
So, directors for horror movies are psychopaths.
Yeah.
You know, like,
You have
man,
to be.
they gotta, yeah, exactly. You gotta direct how to make everyone scared in the scenario, because that's when a good horror movie is. If your crew is scared, you need the actors to be scared to have a good horror movie. And then you need to get the audience scared by them
Heaven
just
forbid
looking.
they act.
Yeah. Well, you can definitely tell in movies when there's genuine fear, and then there's like,
Yeah.
It's
Why would they
scripted.
go out in those
Yeah.
woods? There's like 3 or 4 different sets of murders that happened in those woods, and all of them were terrible.
they're
You see that with people on YouTube. They're like, oh,
they
we're
wanted
gonna
to
go to these
film
Was that
haunted
like
a
woods.
college
college or
documentary on
something?
it. They weren't going at night. So what happens in that movie is they didn't want to spend the night there or something, and then
So they weren't trying to be dumbasses.
yeah, or maybe they wanted to spend the night in one night, and they got so lost. They were dumb. They were stupid. You know, like everybody else in a horror movie. Like, just keep your shoes on. Every good-looking actor in a horror movie ever. Just, if there's a murder... Because, come on, the girl is always running barefoot all the time and she falls. If you had sneakers on, who knows?
You might still fall,
It-
but
What if
at
one of
least
your
you'll
shoes
have
are tied,
sneakers.
you know?
Sneakers on.
Sure.
Yeah, but imagine there's
No,
glass
Crocs,
on the floor.
Crocs speed.
Crocs do not equal speed.
No, but if you put them in sports mode.
You mean off-road, all-terrain?
Yes, sir.
Motion for Crocs now.
Oh my god.
No, funny
We are
thing.
not sponsored by Crocs.
My family all went to the movies, and in the movie theater there was Toy Story playing, or like some equivalent of like a kids movie, and then like a few theaters over Blair Witch. So my mom and my sister went to Blair Witch, and like me, my sister, and my dad, we just had a great time watching like a kids film. You're like, this is
Oh my
great.
God.
Zach and I join you next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God.
I don't fuck with scary. Not at all.
We watched The Uninvited last night.
How was it?
You've seen that one.
Have I? What? Give me the synopsis.
Okay, so girl comes out of psych ward, and she goes back to the house. Yeah, dude, you've definitely seen. I watched it with you, like.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Psych ward. Okay,
like
wait,
back,
what?
like back, way back, like.
Okay, back. All right, wait, what? Psych
Okay.
ward, what?
So this girl comes out of a psych ward, all right, and it's because she went into trauma because her mom passed away. So then she comes back and like the dad is with the nurse now. That's the stepmom, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then her sister's there, right? Like the sister's back at home, and like she's just there now. She came out of a psych ward in only 10 months. Little soon, like she was, like the girl was, you know, like pronounced crazy. So she's at home, and then like paranormal stuff starts happening. She sees her like ghost mom. She's like hallucinating things. I'm not gonna say the ending because it's an ending. It's so good.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's the power trip of horror films that really ruins it for me. Like, I hate how powerless the main character, like technically like the hero of the story, protagonist is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
If they make it out alive, like most of the time they do, but it's not like it's well written. By all means, it's like well done. I just hate it. Like it makes me cringe on the inside because I feel powerless, and I don't want to I don't want to watch a movie that makes me again feel powerless. I'm like, oh, there's no hope.
Yeah, like I got a question for you all, just to prove a point. Ghost is running after you at 4 a.m. You just got out of bed. You're in a haze. You're in your boxers, maybe boxers and a t-shirt. So your ghost, this ghost that you're not even seeing, is just throwing everything in your house everywhere. And, you know, say you have a kid, your kid is getting dragged around everywhere, she's crawling on the ceiling, you know, the little one is staring at a wall going, you know, just weird stuff is happening. What are you gonna do? How powerful can you be in that situation, Zach?
Those kids can
I'm
vote
not
for
gonna,
themselves.
I would find
man.
the nearest knife and just jam it into myself. I'm like, I'm out.
You see a clown start crawling out, you're like, son of a bitch. I'm in a horror movie trope.
Because, like, here's the other thing. Even if, say I just run and I try to get as far away, is it all going to follow me? I can't deal with this. I can't put up with this pressure.
Imagine being born with the ghost attached to you. Like
Again,
Insidious.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, like,
to be honest.
I'm perfectly okay without it, but I'll watch movies about it.
I remember a movie, I don't remember the title of it, but, like, there was, like, this woman who, like, died, and she was, like, always holding onto the guy's back. Like, essentially, he was giving her a piggyback ride. Giving her ghost a piggyback ride. All this horrible stuff is happening to him, and it's because she's still, like, obsessed with him and, like, weighing him down and slowly killing him.
Oh, jeez.
And, yeah, no, and it's awful.
What's it called?
I don't remember.
The Hunchback.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. It's, like, very good.
It's just, like, I remember, it's... The worst thing is, too, like, my family would watch horror films, and I was young, and I would just happen to, like, walk by the TV as it was happening, so I would get out of context, like, the worst moment of the movie, and I'm not sticking around, because I don't like what's playing out in front of me now. So, that trauma has probably stayed with me for the rest of my life.
That's the best trauma.
No.
Yeah, it is, dude.
That's why I hate...
You remember being
Best
so
trauma.
scared when you were little? Like my parents used to watch Saw, and, like, my sister's older than me, and my parents would be like, just take your little brother up there, he can't see Saw. You know what I mean? We're gonna have a marathon of Saw.
And then do you still hear, like, the screaming from your room?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
helps.
I don't know, Dahlia would put on,
Worse,
like,
I think.
Titanic. So I would be scared either way. I don't like boats. So I would, like, walk downstairs, and Dahlia would be like, let's watch Saw. Like, they won't see us. Like, all the lights are off. Like, let's just sit in the kitchen. Because our parents are stupid.
Worse.
Oh, yeah. We sat in the dark kitchen watching Saw. And I gotta tell you, I love horror movies. So
See, I would cry.
I probably
Like, just
did.
Buckets of tears.
You remember, like, I really got scared of everything. Like, when you first met me. Like,
Yeah, you were riddled with anxiety when I first met you.
Yeah, and
See, I feel like in, like, horror movies, I never got, like, scared of them. I would just be like, this never happens. What is going on? Like, compared to reality.
Dal made me watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Which one?
I think the original.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe it was the
multiple.
remake. I don't know. Not like the newest one.
There's one with like Adriana
Alexandria.
Chichik. No,
What?
what the fuck's her name?
Alexandria Daddario
Alexandria Daddario.
from Percy Jackson.
All I know
Great
is like
actress.
the
Great
guys are like
actress.
one
That's
kid is
Jackson's
like an
favorite
army-
actress.
He got so excited.
the one kid's like a draft dodger. Like he burns up his thing and they find it and they're like, oh, like they're all pissed off that like he wouldn't join the army, but like
Oh yeah, that's the original one.
okay. I didn't watch most of that movie. Like I just curled up into a ball and waited for it to end.
Oh,
Like
really?
it broke me. Like I was shaking.
You know what's weird? That is like I talk about horror movies a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'm aware.
that is the most frequent like horror movie that like gives people like that. I don't like it. Like that movie for some reason scares everybody, but I don't know. I never like got it. Like there's so many much more like The Exorcist is way scarier than that.
It destroys all hope. That's the point. You go
Yeah.
into that thinking, oh, maybe something. No. All nothing. Abandon your hope. Fetal position and cry.
Well, how are
You're
you gonna
not
beat
gonna
him?
make it. What?
How are you gonna beat him?
Apparently not. I don't think Dude, ghosts attacked me and I ran for the nearest knife to end myself. If
This
I
guy,
have-
what are you gonna do?
what is Leatherface? What is he?
He's like isn't he just like locked in the basement though, kind of?
No, he was born. He was born weird. I think he might. I don't want to say he's like possessed. You know what I mean? Like kind of like a Michael Myers type. He has like one of those weird backstories. He might have had like.
Wait, is he immortal?
I think he was born, in a cult
Okay.
that like hit the like cult. You know what I mean?
Wait,
so
can he
then-
die?
Yeah, no, I don't think he can die. I think that's like.
He's not just mortal, like, I thought he was just, like, obsessed with skin.
Yeah, he might. be
Yeah,
right.
I don't like can.
I think he was born out of incest, and he was just like huge. No, dead ass. I think he was born out of incest, and then I feel like his face like got burnt off or something. That's Freddy Krueger though. Just look up the backstory. for
What is
Texas
his
Chainsaw.
relationship with Ed Gein? We need Dal for this. She'd explain all of this to me.
Yeah, maybe we should save
Vivid
it for that
detail.
episode.
But
Well, yeah, it's about Ed Gein, and it's about but like the backstory isn't like that. The backstory is very like cult, like kind of like Children of the Corn.
do you remember The Hills Have Eyes?
Yeah, that's
Like,
a scary one.
Like, yeah, I remember, like, the part where they're like, in the house of, like, what, are they considered mutants, or... was
They
there,
have a
like,
name for 'em.
nuclear- I get whatever it is. But they're in, like, this guy's house,
Wow.
and that's the only scene I remember because I couldn't get any further. Like, I happened to, like, glance over at this one scene, and I see he's, like, trying to hide, and I think they find him, one guy that's in their house,
Oh my god,
and they,
I
like,
haven't watched the movie. in
break
so
his
long.
foot or break his fingers or something because they find him and like crash a door on him, and I didn't like it. It
No.
bothers me talking about it because like at that moment I'm already like, oh god, what do I do? I watched Hush. It's on Netflix. I think it's Hush. It's about the deaf girl.
Yeah, that was.
And
Wait, I gotta know the backstory.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't look it up. But you know Charles Darwin? He did like research on like animals and stuff and like how like different like you know what I mean like
Yeah.
all of his children were born out of incest.
the more you know.
Interesting.
No, but he did like so much research about
How
like
did-
different like animals and
What
stuff.
the fuck did you?
And then
look
he did
up?
that.
What did you? What did? What the fuck?
This is the guy you made our Google guy.
What did ha- be-
Okay, what do you want me to look up? I'll look it up.
Nothing now. Go on about Hush, please.
Oh, okay. Like, I mean, in my opinion, bad horror movie.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it
that
just-
was.
Oh
bad.
yeah.
It
If he
just-
kept his mask on, maybe it would
That
have
would
been
have been
good.
more
Yeah.
scarier.
Would have
It was
helped,
weird.
but like
He
just
looked
the
like a
whole
nerdy
setup
dude.
of it, like the pacing was terrible. They made a whole point to like show her arc of her being able to, which by the way, spoilers for this movie. I'm helping you. Nobody should watch this movie.
Yeah,
no
don't-
offense, creators of Hush.
watch
I
it.
can't do a better job. I'm just saying you didn't do a good job.
We
For
are not
someone who
sponsored by
doesn't
Hush.
like horror movies,
We
it
are
was
not
shit.
sponsored by Hush. Not Hush.
Not
Not
no
sponsored
Hush.
by Hush.
I don't even know if that's the name of it.
We're not sponsored by Hush.
But no, it wasn't good. Like none of it was particularly like frightening. Like everyone that died in it, I was like, really?
Yeah.
That's how?
Yeah.
Like,
It was quite easy.
The only thing that was like kind of weird was when she got her like hand smashed. That was it. And I was like, yeah, I don't like that.
I feel like when doesn't he use a crossbow?
yeah,
Yeah.
she
Yeah,
gets
like,
the
that was
crossbow.
pretty cool.
Yeah, she gets the crossbow.
Like that's a cool
dude.
weapon for like what's his face uses that? An original horror character uses a crossbow that I can't think of.
Daryl from The Walking Dead.
I mean, yes, there are other characters that use.
I mean, that's not really horror.
Chewbacca.
Yeah, I mean, we can.
Chewbacca does.
Can you do a Chewbacca impression?
Oh no. Well, you know.
Sam?
That's
Yeah,
a
I
different
can't do that.
Chewbacca. That's for the.
Yeah, I
The
don't know
adult
where
movie.
you're going. Wow.
I tried to get my voice to a certain pitch and it just did not
Wait, you're talking
go.
about-
You're not
Hush the movie,
helping the
right?
case.
What?
Hush the movie.
Yeah. I don't think that's
Wait.
the movie.
Oh boy, what did he
Isn't it-
pull up?
I feel like it's
Nothing
silent
that
something.
bad. Calm down.
No, it's called Hush.
It is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hush on Netflix. Check it out.
I
Waste
don't.
your
I think they
time.
might have taken it off because
No, I
it
think
is
it's still
garbage.
there. It's
Flaming
not
pile
good.
of
And
garbage.
again, yeah, that's people who are not fans of horror movies. Like,
Did it scare you at all?
no, I
There
was
you go.
bored. All right, that's
Is
the
this one
thing
it?
too. Yeah, that's the one. You gotta have like good pacing in a horror movie. Either you're gonna be like, I don't want to have a bad time, but if you're making a horror film, I expect to have a bad time watching your movie. Not because it's a bad movie, because it
you're
makes
scared.
me. Yeah, it hits all the points that make me unhappy.
I want to be scared next week. I'm looking for a movie that